What's up guys, Jogging Pants World here, back at it with another legit vinyl update. I know you guys have been commenting, asking me when you do another vinyl update video. I'm just kidding, I know nobody is asking for this. You can kind of see it in the background of a lot of my videos over the years, but I like to think I've got a pretty decent sized vinyl collection. It's nothing crazy, I don't have like piles upon piles of vinyl over here, but I also kind of think my collection isn't anything to sneeze at either. I think it's pretty decent sized collections, so we're gonna go ahead and check some of them out. I kind of want to do this Fantano style where I just kind of go over a few pieces from my collection and then stop when I feel like it. I think that's really fun, easy way to do things. I'm gonna tell you guys right off the bat, I tend to keep my vinyls nice and sealed. I don't do a lot of listening to them, like actually putting them on a record player. I do have a record player over here that my brother actually gave to me. My older brother is actually more of an audio nerd, audiophile than I ever could be. So he kind of just gifted ones to, hey, if you ever want to listen to them, here they are. Although I gotta be honest, I never listened to it just because I just think it's easier to use something like Spotify to get all of my listening in, especially on the go or at work. But kind of like my Y Schwartz cards, I don't have any desire to ever like sell any of my vinyl. So part of me is like, well, why do I want to keep it pristine and sealed if I'm never gonna sell it anyway? What I love about vinyl is how big the artwork is on these pieces, and you can kind of really see the details in the cover art for when you have a piece on vinyl versus when you just kind of see it on your phone or even on a CD case. Like getting it on a vinyl, just really big artwork, just looks beautiful for me. And I think they're pieces of art. I like to hang them up in my studio over here. But let's go ahead and do a nice little dive into a handful of vinyls from my collection. Let's see what we got first here. Waiting Thursday. Now, anyone who's known me for 10 or more seconds knows that I love the band Thursday. You can just tell, any Thursday fan can just tell just by the logo of my channel. Obviously that logo is a ripoff of the Thursday dove, except my bird is a different bird. It's a quetzal, which is the national bird of Guatemala, which is where my parents are from. But when it comes to the band Thursday, bro, they are just emo legends. What can I say? They are just the emo kids. They are too emo to emo, guys. I mean, I think a lot of people refer to them less as emo and more as post-hardcore. Whatever you call them, they're just an amazing sound. Thursday is definitely the type of band you discover as a young lad and then decide to build your whole personality around. They don't have a ton of fans, but the fans that they do have are so diehard, myself included. I include myself in that. And Thursday for me was definitely the very first band that I kind of discovered on my own. Like, nobody turned me on to them. You know, no friend of a friend told me. I didn't hear them in the radio. I was just kind of really into Sunny Day Real Estate as a young lad, and I was just searching for more bands that really spoke to me in that way. And just through looking through Wikipedia articles, Thursday was a name that kept popping up, so I decided to give them a spin. And them being like a really fresh band for me, I just started with track 1 from the very first album, Waiting. This album like destroyed me the first time I heard it. I was in a very dark place, but this really speaks a lot to me. That first track, Porcelain, I threw that on and I pretty much teared up hearing it the first time. It is just such a powerful sentiment of a song. I can't really speak to what the song is about, you know, obviously only really the artist can really talk about that. But there are just some really like poignant bars on here that just go so hard no matter how you slice it. Like when I heard Jeff Rickley shout, "Death is the answer," like that is such a bar. Like that felt like a gut punch hearing that the first time, and it still does. If that song pops up on a playlist and I ain't ready for it, oof. Porcelain is crazy, and the ending of that song is just so hard. Like, it is insane. It's like layered vocals of Jeff Rickley shouting, "Try and live, try and live." And it's also layered with his screams just shouting the word "die, die," like those like conflicting emotions that you have. Like, you know in your heart you ought to keep living, but there's just these voices in you that's just telling you that die, die. It is it's crazy lyricism, man. And that's just the first song off this entire album. It is mind-blowing. It is so heavy. Check this out. Other standout tracks, This Side of Brightness, Ian Curtis, Streaks in the Sky. Basically this whole freaking album. Like, who am I kidding? This whole album. And the ending of this album is like a spoken word kind of poetry thing. And I haven't seen Thursday do that since this album. Super beautiful track. Very cool. Now, this particular pressing, I actually have this... I actually love this album so much. I have this... I think I have 4 separate pressings of this album. I have this one right here. I have the reissue right here. I think actually Sad Boy helped me cop this. I think he found it somewhere and he was able to buy it for me, or he was able to reserve one for me. Very cool. This was in this is in half clear, half cloudy with blue and black splatter vinyl. Very nice, limited pressing. This one is in fact sealed. Very cool. And I have this one right here, which is a repressing from Jeff Rickley's label, Collect Records, which is now defunct. It doesn't exist anymore, which is a shame because there's a few exclusive tracks on this version that used to be on Spotify, but now it's not, and they're hard to find. But you can still find all the tracks on YouTube, which is cool, but it's just nicer having things on Spotify. Well, I have a copy of this hung over on my wall over there. My buddy Sad Boy, again, I vividly remember we were working at Target. We were talking at the break room. And he's like, yo, I found a copy of that Thursday album. It was selling for like $5 on Facebook Marketplace. And I was like, bro, you better, I'll pay you $10. You better cop that for me. But before we get into that, I want to talk about this pressing because this one is actually super duper special. This copy of Waiting is actually a first pressing of the album from Eyeball Records. In fact, I actually bought this album. The guy who sold this to me on eBay, so he claimed to be like the actual person who owned Eyeball Records, or at least someone associated with him. Eyeball Records is a record company based in New Jersey, and it was the first people to sign Thursday, and it was also the first people to sign My Chemical Romance. And that's kind of an interesting tidbit right there. But no, obviously Thursday is the better band out of those two. And he sold me this. And what's really kind of special to me is if you kind of look closely, you can see this is actually damaged on the side right here. And it is still mostly sealed. Well, maybe not mostly sealed. Like it's sealed up to here, and then here is just kind of open, and I've just kind of kept it that way. But the guy who sold this to me claimed that this was like found in a stack of things in his basement that presumably had a lot of other stuff from Eyeball Records. But this in particular is kind of interesting to me because if you know anything about Thursday, you know that just like a lot of bands from New Jersey, they started out performing shows in basements and like underground venues, just like not even venues, just like people's basements. They would do basement shows. And that's kind of how the New Jersey hardcore scene was. They would just play a lot of basement shows and people would show up, and that's how people would discover new bands. Pretty insane. And it's just, how cool is it to me that this album, like the one I'm holding in my hand, was literally like rotting away in a New Jersey basement. Like how insane is that? I feel like I'm holding some kind of relic here. Like I shouldn't, like it's as if someone went back in time and went into one of those old basements that Thursday was playing at, and he just like scooped one out, brought it back. That's what I have here. It was an album that was literally rotting away in a New Jersey basement. Very, very cool. And I just think it's so special to me that I have a first pressing of Thursday's first vinyl, the one that started all. And this album in particular, yeah, it started for me too. It was the first Thursday album I ever listened to, and I haven't been the same since. This one is open, so let's go ahead and have a gander at that right here. Oh, it still has the download code. I don't think I ever used this download code, but we have it. You can kind of see this is actually a cutout of the Dove logo right there, and depending on how you orient the stuff inside, it'll show out through over there. Here is the lyrics sheet. These are all the lyrics right here, all written out. That's really nice to see. Oh, and it's really funny if you see for the dotted line, the lyrics are actually dotted out. That's that's really cool. There are lyrics in that song, but I think it's funny that they chose to do that. Oh my God, Dying in New Brunswick. Dying in New Brunswick is also an insane track. Very, very sad. I don't recommend looking into what that song is actually about, but it's really, really depressing. But you know, It's Thursday. What do you expect? Here we have the outer sleeve. And let's go ahead and pop out the vinyl. Oh, this is a red vinyl. Red and white. I forgot. Very nice. We got Thursday Waiting. Oof. 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 I gotta be careful with it. I'm having a little too much fun, boys. All right, I'm gonna put this back before I wreck it. Oh, whoop. I'm not an expert on handling vinyls. Like I said, I keep most of mine sealed, so don't try not to cringe too hard at the way I handle vinyls, boys. Very nice to see. Also included in this is a small 7-inch that includes the bonus tracks. And there's some like bonus tracks. Most of them are just demos, but in this is actually this 7-inch right here. But in this 7-inch right here, this is actually has a really, really rare track called Mass as Shadows. And that is probably one of my favorite Thursday tracks. And it's not on Spotify anymore. It was at one point, which is how I discovered it. But this track right here, Mass as Shadows, it's such a heavy song. It was recorded, and I think it was included in like the demo that was created before the actual album was. And how that song did not end up on the actual album, I will never understand, because that is one of the best tracks by the band Thursday, Mass as Shadows. Give it a listen. It's on YouTube. Thank me later. I broke down crying the first time I heard that track, man. That was it's an insane track, and I use that track actually a lot in my own videos, and like in the background of some things. Once you hear it, maybe you look through some of my older videos, especially when I'm explaining like tabletop rules, you might hear the beat of Mass as Shadows, at least like the intro part where there's no lyrics. So that's really cool, but I'm glad to have that here. Very fun, very fun. I'm having fun looking through my own collection here. I know it's just the first one. I think it kind of started with one of them that was really heavy for me, because this album just means so much to me. Like Thursday is just a defining band for me. Thursday Waiting, an insane album. I gotta keep this moving. I don't want this video to be 7 years long. So let's go ahead and go to the next one right here, lads. Rip Juice, Juice Wrld, Rip Juice. It's the guy from Fortnite, guys. Very cool. I remember exactly where I was when I bought this album. Wasn't too long ago, actually. I believe I was hanging out with my buddy Sad Boy and my buddy Shadow Tunes. Actually, if you recall on my channel, I believe it was the Pixar playset. At the end of that video, I had a little section where I was hanging out at Dave & Buster's with my friends. That's basically the same day I bought this album. Like, we were in a mall, then after we were done with Dave & Buster's, we kind of went around to the mall. We're just kind of shooting the shit, having fun, and I was just having such an amazing time with my buddies. I wanted something to remember that moment by, so we went into the FYE, and I knew I had to pick up a vinyl from FYE. I decided to go with the Juice Wrld one, so I was really vibing this album. I was really listening to it a lot. Probably my favorite track on here is Oxycodone. It is just pinnacle, peak, like sad boy SoundCloud era rap trap, and I just think it's just amazing sad boy rap. But there's a lot of great tracks on here as well. Lace It with Eminem is a very big standout one for me. I do like me some Eminem as well, and so having them both on the same track is kind of cool, and I really love the message behind it. You know, it's kind of like Juice Wrld like sings on the chorus, like roll it up, lace it, obviously talking about some narcotics, but Eminem kind of has a different spin on it, where it's like, yo, we're not trying to lecture you, but man, be careful when you when you do those things, man. It's pretty insane. I love the messaging behind that, especially considering this is a posthumous album. The late Juice Wrld, rest in peace. So that kind of messaging just hits so much harder, knowing what we know now. Very, very cool. Very, very great piece right here. Why don't we go ahead and open it up on camera, and let's go ahead and check out how this vinyl looks like on the inside, because I'm actually very curious to know. And I don't think this album is particularly rare. You know, I'm just going to open it all the way so I can like dig into it. There's no hype sticker on this either, I just noticed, so it doesn't really pain me too much to rip something open like this. We got Juice Wrld, The Party Never Ends. Fresh open, lad. You're gonna see it before I do, what's on the inside. Ho 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 ho! Takashi Murakami, right? Yeah, Takashi Murakami, I got it. Cool, yeah, that's what it says on there. I was trying to remember. I just know him as like the guy who designed the album cover for Kids See Ghosts and also more notably Graduation. Both of those are great albums, by the way. I wish Graduation had an official vinyl release, but it never has. But this actually looks beautiful. I will say the first time I saw this album cover, and it was getting a lot of hate, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was kind of bad too. But it has since grown on me, maybe because I bought the album, but the album art has since grown on me. I think it looks kind of cool, and it has its own style to it. I don't mind it at all. But it's really cool seeing the inside here. We got presumably Juice and Takashi Murakami living it up right there. Very cool to see. Beautiful. And on the inside, got the liner notes. Let's go ahead and see the inside paperwork over here. We have the lyrics to all of the songs. One side blue, the other side kind of a reddish, cherry red kind of on the outside there. All of the lyrics to the tracks. I'm not sorry, they're not lyrics. They are just the liner notes, publishing, things like that. Very cool, very cool. It is really insane seeing just how many people work on one track, you know, and one track each. You know, Oxycodone has like a lot of people on it. Just working on it. And even though it's just Juice Wrld himself speaking in the actual lyrics. Let's go ahead and peep the... Oh, I do like how the inside has a little kind of artwork of the album right there. Beautiful, beautiful. And this just seems to be standard black vinyl, which I've actually heard that if in terms of like actually listening to something, black vinyl actually sounds the best as opposed to any other kind of coloring, and certainly better than picture discs. I don't own any picture discs myself. I don't really like. I'm not too into picture discs, but this is really cool to see. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm glad to own this, and I'm glad I opened it because it's really cool to kind of see on the inside and kind of appreciate what we have. You know, as much as I love keeping things sealed, it is fun every now and then to look at what we got on the inside because there's some cool special things that we don't see otherwise. I'm going to go ahead and open the other side here. See if there's anything I missed. I'm pretty sure both of these are going to be black vinyl, and it would only make sense. Yep, exactly the same thing. Not much point in bringing it out the whole way, but very cool to see. That is Juice Wrld's The Party Never Ends on vinyl, 2 LP. All right, we got to move things along. Remember at the beginning when I said I didn't want this to be a long video? Yeah, good luck with that, man. Next one, we have You're Not You Anymore by the Counterparts. Counterparts, great band. How would I even describe them? I guess I don't want to call them screamo, but like, what's like the proper term? I wish Sad Boy was with me here. I don't know what the proper term for this band is, but they're basically all screaming, and they sound amazing. They're just post-hardcore screaming. I would almost say metalcore. Would I call Counterparts metalcore? I think they would be metalcore. If I'm totally off base, go ahead and roast me below. I don't care. I care immensely. But yeah, Counterparts, a great album. This one in particular was actually gifted to me by my best buddy Sad Boy. I believe the record label right here. The record label Pure Noise Records. I believe Pure Noise was having a sale, like a big sale at one point, selling a lot of their albums on vinyl. And my buddy Sad Boy, he actually bought a couple of them for me, just because he's an amazing friend that I don't deserve. But yeah, shout out to Sad Boy. Love him for this vinyl. we both really love this. We both really love this specific album. My buddy Sadboy actually likes a lot of albums by Counterparts. I just haven't really given them enough time to really get into the rest of the discography. But I can tell you this album for sure is absolutely amazing. We have kind of an inside joke with each other. Like anytime either of us does something that's kind of out of character, like for example, if I were to play like Magic the Gathering instead of Y Schwartz, then Sadboy would be like, you're not you anymore. And of course, I feel like I do it more to him than he does to me. And I will go as far as even like send him the track "You're Not You Anymore" on Discord whenever he does something out of line. Like, "You're not you anymore, dude." Alright, we're knuckleheads. But this is an amazing, amazing album front to back. I mean, the song "You're Not You Anymore" really hits. Really hits hard. Thieves, that song itself is crazy. It's really short, but it's crazy. It's just so chaotic and wild, like the guitars, and it's crazy, and the screaming. There's like one specific bar in there that's like, "With my last breath, I will strangle you to death." Like, that bar is insane. Like, you wouldn't think that looking at this like minimalist kind of art we got going on here, just white, and I think this is like a mausoleum or something. But it's a beautiful picture, and I really love the artwork here. And this is the Counterparts logo, the kind of the empty set sign. I think that's a great logo. But this album front to back, amazing. Arms Like Teeth, "No servant of mine." Oh, and "You haunt me like an empty house." Oof, these guys go hard, man. I have not seen Counterparts live. I really want to, but at the same time, I feel like I would die in that mosh pit if they were to go crazy like that. Oh, "A Memory Misread," also probably one of my favorite tracks off this album. Very catchy for a metalcore song. Very catchy. "Memory Misread," very great track. Great album front to back. And honestly, this just right here just really feels like a piece, like a physical embodiment of me and my buddy Sadboy's friendship. Just one of the many different albums that we love, that we both love. Because we have very similar taste in music. I remember watching, I think it was like an iDubbbz video. I think it was iDubbbz who says something along the lines of like, it's kind of hard to find people who like vibe with you musically, which is why a lot of times people don't talk about specifically what bands they like because they don't want to be judged or whatever. But if you find someone on this planet that you can kind of really relate to in terms of like music style and the music you love, really cherish that. That is something very special, and it's just so beautiful, man. Vinyl collecting is really fun. This is a great piece. I was gonna unbox this. I was gonna tear it up and open it, but now I kind of don't want to. I kind of want to keep it pristine and nice. I've kind of sold myself on not opening it. Next, meme. I'm going to buy these. I'm trying to go buy a little bit quicker, guys. I don't want to waste all your time here. And again, these aren't reviews. These aren't full reviews of these albums, but they're all pretty good. Armor for Sleep, Dreams to Make Believe. Absolutely gorgeous vinyl right here. This album right here was signed by all 3 members, at least at the time. I think at one point they had 4 members, but they weren't there at the signing at that point. So this is signed by 3 members. I don't know if they still have 4 members or not. I'm kind of a fake fan in that regard. But this was signed. This was actually signed in front of me. I physically saw them signing this album because me and Sadboy, we both signed up for a meet and greet with Armor for Sleep where they played this entire album front to back. And we showed up like an hour early to the venue, and we were able to actually kind of do a nice quick meet and greet with the band, even take a nice little photo together. It was so much fun. I had a blast meeting Ben Jorgensen and his buddies at that venue. Super fun. It was really funny. We bought like a ton of merch from the merch table, and it was really funny them seeing us like carry all this merch. And we stopped and we took a photo with them. It was super fun. I had a blast, absolute blast. And this, every time I look at this, I think of that moment where me and Sadboy went to that concert. Beautiful time. Again, big shout out to Sadboy. Because if it wasn't for Sadboy, I probably wouldn't go to as many concerts as I do. Just because I don't really like going to concerts alone. Like, trust me, I've done it. But it's just so much more fun. We can have a buddy with you to go to concerts and stuff. So this was really, really fun. Let's go ahead and open it. Now, this was actually never sealed. This was, when I bought this and it was already open, there was no shrink wrapping around it. So they just kind of took it, they signed it, and they handed it to me. So I know that these signatures are genuine, at least in my heart. So we can kind of go ahead and check it out. So we don't have to worry about ruining any sleeving, any shrink wrapping, because... So we don't have to worry about ruining any shrink wrapping or anything, because this is already good to go. We have the outer sleeve over here for the thing, and this is really nice. You can kind of see kind of a more I assume this is like a different part of that room where they took the photo of the cover art. Right here we can see some more curtains and a nice little sun coming out from the window there. That's kind of nice to see. I have no idea what this is supposed to be, but we can see all of the lyrics on the front here. Very nice. I'm looking at the lyrics here for the Wanderers Guild, because I've seen a couple different interpretations for that specific song. By the way, Wanderers Guild, probably one of my favorite tracks on here. But there's a part where they say, like, listen, I'm fine now, listen, I'm fine now. I've actually seen other lyrics websites where they claim that the lyric switches from listen, I'm fine now to listen and find out, and it switches back and forth. But I think that's like fake news, because I'm seeing right here, I'm reading the lyrics, and I'm not seeing it say listen and find out. So I think they just say in that song, listen, I'm fine now, listen, I'm fine now, over and over again. But great song right here. Other standout tracks, Dreams to Make Believe, My Town, Frost and Front Steps. We also have kind of an inside joke, me and Sad Boy. Anytime we play Fortnite and we can hear footsteps of enemies coming at us, we always shout Frost and Front Steps, which is kind of like code for like their footsteps around. There's an enemy nearby. Prepare your anus, right? To like not get got by the enemies in Fortnite. But an amazing album. Armor for Sleep in general is really good. I think they have 3. I guess now they have 4, but at the time I think they only had 3 main studio albums for the longest time, which is this right here, Dreams to Make Believe, and then they also have the big one, which more people are familiar with. It's called What to Do When You're Dead. I have that on vinyl somewhere in my collection. I definitely have it. I'll pull it out next time. But that is an amazing album, front to back. Probably my favorite concept album of all time. I'll save my thoughts for when I get to that one day, if I get to that one day. But this album right here is gorgeous, beautiful tracks. Oh, I don't think I pulled out the vinyl itself. I forgot to do that, so let me go ahead and check that out. Oh, it's a nice, I didn't even remember it. It was like a nice greenish tint to it. Dreams to Make Believe. Just one album, just one disc over here. Very cute. I love that coloring. I love it when the coloring of an album really matches the cover art, in terms of like vibes. Like, it doesn't have to or anything, but I think it's nice when they take the time to do that, like not just have it be like a random color. Okay, I'm probably well past whatever time I wanted to make this video lengthwise, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the last one over here. I'll just go by this quickly. We got Park. I bought this secondhand on eBay. A small band from Springfield, Illinois called Park. Great band. They're a very small indie band. They can't have more than like what, 4,000, 3,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. But I really love a lot of their releases. At the end of a lot of my old videos, you'll hear a song that's like kind of a rock band, and you'll see like my little animated band playing out. That song that plays in the background is by this band Park. It's not on this album. It's called Nice Night for a Fist Fight. Great song. Check out that piece. But this album right here is actually really good as well. Standout tracks: At Breakneck Speed, The Ghost You Are, Know Your Enemy, Wreck Simple. Great tracks. It's very straight, like emo. Like, I remember playing this band for my brother, and my brother thought it was like Fall Out Boy or something. He was like, "Is this Fall Out Boy?" I played it for him while I was in the car with him, and I had the aux cord, so I get to play what I want. It's that kind of vibe. Only one of their albums I think actually has like screaming in it, which is the It Won't Snow Where You're Going, which is probably my favorite album from them. I have not been able to find that on vinyl yet, but I'm on the hunt for that. But very great piece over here. Now, when I bought this, it was not sealed. It was inside this little baggie. And you know, it's such an old band, and a lot of this probably isn't getting repressed anytime soon. So when I find a listing like that, I take what I can get. But let's go ahead and check out the inside here. Very cool. Just a picture of the band, Youngsters, and it looks like these are song lyrics to the songs over here. And as for the inside, we have, this is a double LP, so we got 2 LPs over here. Very, very nice. Let's go check out one of these. I don't remember what color this is. It looks like it's black. Oh no, it's actually a transparent purplish blue, indigo. I don't know if it picks up on camera very well, but it's not a straight black. It's definitely has a bluish tint to it. And the other album seems to be the same, but that is gorgeous. Very, very cool. I love the artwork of this album as well. It's like a nice satellite dish. I love the kind of space vibes of it. Like even like the font of their band for this album cycle kind of gives off like NASA vibes. I love that. Almost reminds me of Hope's Fall, another great band, but totally different sound than this. But they sound amazing. Both bands are great. Anyway, that is Park No Signal. I don't even think I said the name of the album. It's Park No Signal is the name of the album. And fun fact, a few of these songs from this album actually appeared in like an Xbox original snowboarding game. I'll have to look up which specific snowboarding game that was. But there are actually a lot of cool bands that show up on that, particularly songs off the first album from Silverstein, When Broken is Easily Fixed. There are a few songs from there. I didn't own that game, but I just thought it was really funny that like a band this small would show up in a video game like that. That's always cool to see. I love when video games have stuff like that. But great piece. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it there for my vinyl update, my vinyl video. Hope you guys had fun listening to me yap about my vinyl collection here. So I only went through 5 vinyls actually. But I don't want this video to be insanely long, although I think it's going to be pretty long if I end up posting this. I know you guys didn't order a venti size Yappuccino, but I'm serving it up anyway for you guys. Thank you guys so much for checking out the content. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you so much. Bye. White bikes on the side of the road. Last night I heard a crash on 20.